Hello everyone. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about a game I actually haven't talked about much yet on the channel, Total War Three Kingdoms. So this is of course the newest of the historical Total Wars, and I don't dislike the game. I'm a big fan of pretty much all the historical Total Wars, almost. And, Three Kingdoms is no different. I enjoyed the game, but in this video, I'm going to talk about, because it's rather topical, I'm going to talk about where I think Total War Three Kingdoms misses the mark, at least in some aspects, right? So, of course, I'm not going to talk about everything. This is not a comprehensive review, but I will be going over some of the main points where I think they kind of missed the mark with this game. And so for the sequel, which people expect to be coming, I want to talk about these things so that perhaps maybe they'll be changed, maybe they'll be fixed. Not fixed is not the right word because it's just my preference, but just things I wish would be changed for the next version. So, yeah, let me just go to the character select screen here. So, first thing about Three Kingdoms is that, it's more story driven, it's more character driven than previous Total War games. And, that's kind of, I suppose, in the vein of Warhammer. I mean, I don't know anything about Warhammer, but it seems like the game is at least more character driven. So, this Three Kingdoms and Troy as well, which I consider to be a semi-historical, right, Total War. They're both more character-driven, right, story-driven. And, it's hit and miss for me. Now, I'm going to talk about this, of course. So, I'll just go with my boy, my guy, Liu Bei. I like him. He has honor. But anyway, yeah, Three Kingdoms. I really enjoy it, and it has great animations. The graphics are very nice. It's very artistically done, and I find it to be very immersive. But where I think it misses the mark, or let me just skip this. We get it. Where I think it misses the mark is in the characters, in the hero combat. Again, oh, did I forget to change it from romance mode to records mode? Oh boy. And it, so those are the aspects, and the recruitment, right? Recruitment. So Three Kingdoms makes huge strides in terms of, well, many aspects of Total War. Three Kingdoms is just great in terms of improvements to the AI, especially the campaign AI, especially in terms of diplomacy, right? So, especially if you're coming from a game like Rome 1 or the Empire. The diplomacy in those games it's broken, right? It's broken. So at the beginning of every Three Kingdoms campaign, you get, some missions at the beginning. It's kind of similar to the beginning of Shogun 2 in that regard, where you have a small army, but then you have a smaller rebel force in your territory that you have to take out as kind of a tutorial, right? And Three Kingdoms gives you that option. Or it has that at the beginning of the campaigns as well. I find that similar to Shogun 2. And then one other aspect I want to go over in this video is, of course, the combat a little bit. So actually, it's okay that I'm in romance mode here. I never play Three Kingdoms on romance mode because I don't like hero combat. I don't find it fun. I don't find it interesting. Yeah, I just don't find it that engaging. But I think for this video, it'll be good to show off the romance mode, actually, because the romance mode changes the colors a little bit, and I actually haven't seen those colors in a while, so that's good. I mean, I don't have the best display anyway. But in any case, let's talk about the characters. So let's compare this to characters in Rome 1, Medieval 2, and Shogun 2 as well. So Medieval 2, Rome 1, Shogun 2, those are the games where character development was done the best. So in Empire and Napoleon, one of the main problems with them, it was better in Napoleon, but Empire was really bad, was the attachment to the characters, right? So in Empire and Napoleon, things were kind of watered down. So you still had the trait system that was semi-random. So here's my army here with my archer militia, saber militia. I mean, look, the graphics, they look nice. Even on my budget gaming laptop from 5 years ago, it looks nice. I like it. And it's well optimized. That's another great strength of this game. But, so character development. Now, Rome 1 and Medieval 2, they had amazing character development because it was a sort of semi-random system. Okay? So you could get random traits, but you could also get traits and ancillaries based on, your situation, right? So if your governor was stationed in a city for a long time, he'll start getting lazy traits or bored traits, things like that. If, I don't know, if there was a disease in that city, your governor would get a disease trait. If your general won several battles, he'll get better commander traits, right? And then there were, of course, random things. Ancillaries, if your governor in Medieval 2 stayed in a certain city, he'll get, at least in a lot of mods, it was done this way, he'll get traits like governor of that certain city or duke of that certain province, right? So those kinds of things are, really amazing for character development. And Shogun 2. Shogun 2 added, the RPG elements, right? So here we're going to have our generals duel. Again, this is something that I enjoyed maybe the first 2 times, and then I got bored of it. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen one in a while, so I'll watch this actually. But it's so let me keep talking about character development here. So yeah, Shogun 2 I feel was one of the best in terms of character development because it added the RPG elements, right? But it not only did that, but it also kept that sort of semi-random trait system from Rome 1 and Medieval 2, right? Let's see our general just absolutely pound these guys. Yeah, so I mean, this hero kind of stuff, it's fun for a minute, like a playthrough, but then I get bored of that. I don't find it that engaging. But right, so about characters. At the beginning of Shogun 2, or at the beginning of Rome and Medieval 2, your characters, even famous characters like, I don't know, Oda Nobunaga in Shogun 2, let's say, or Tokugawa Ieyasu, or Takeda Shingen, one of my favorites, or Chosokabe Motochika, those famous characters from the Shogun period. They start out the game as, minor, young, inexperienced characters, right? So, and then as you go through the campaign, they gain experience, they become legends, right? As you go through the campaign, as you continue, they become legends, right? So it's sort of a sandbox, right? It's better as a sandbox. Now, in Three Kingdoms, and the same thing with Rome 1 and Medieval 2. You would get characters, and then you make them legends, right? So Three Kingdoms, I don't want to say it removes that aspect completely, as Liu Bei absolutely crushes these guys. But you have a whole bunch of characters that start out as legends, right? So that's something that I feel kind of, for me, it hurts a little bit, the character development, the immersion, just a little bit, because I feel like these characters are already developed. They're already legends, right? So there's only so much you can do, right? And I feel like... So we can't get that guy? Retreating heroes cannot be targeted. Oh, I haven't played romance mode. Oh, I've only played records mode like the past several months when I played Three Kingdoms. So yeah, I forgot you can't chase heroes in romance mode. Again, you know, stuff like that, I don't like it. I just don't like it. But in any case, I'll just claim victory here. Now, oh, rematch. Another thing I like about Three Kingdoms. I know a lot of my subscribers here don't have Three Kingdoms or the newer Total War, so this will be a good intro to what Three Kingdoms looks like for you guys as well, in case you haven't seen it. Now, they start out as legends, and actually they are the faction. The faction is based around that one character, right? And that's not something that I like very much. So I would definitely have preferred if they, I don't know, if they went by the name of that kingdom, right? So Kingdom of whatever, Kingdom of Wu, Kingdom of Shu, right? Depends on the period, start date, right, in the Warring States. But you know, I'm Liu Bei, so I'm going to ransom and release. Now, that's one aspect that I feel Three Kingdoms kind of dropped the ball for me. So these characters, not only do they have the hero mechanics, but they are actually start out as kind of legendary commanders, right? It doesn't sit well with me. I don't feel like it's a sort of Total War aspect here. I'll just auto-resolve this because they don't only have a few troops. But sieges in Three Kingdoms I enjoy as well. The AI is pretty good. They're not broken. So in any case, now, Three Kingdoms does not have really... It does not have that kind of random plus RPG development that Shogun 2 had. Because I appreciated Shogun 2. It allowed you to customize your generals. And I mean, that's cool, especially when it's mixed with the regular Rome 1 Medieval 2 mechanic. And Shogun 2, even though I think it could have been expanded a little, like you had a bunch of traits like Mirror of Amaterasu and Angry and stuff like that. I think it could have been more, but I think Shogun 2 had a good balance between the RPG system, which I feel is much better than this one. I don't like this tree. I don't... Like, you look at it, and it's just confusing, right? Shogun 2's was much better, but in terms of design. But I feel like this game, even though you do have a couple traits for your characters, I don't feel like the balance is there. It's really balanced too much towards the RPG elements. And then even then, it's not as customizable compared to something like Shogun 2, right? Rome 2 and Attila, I feel like their RPG systems are also not, definitely not as good as I would like. But yeah, this one, I feel like they took a step back in terms of the RPG system here. And that's something I really feel like they should address in a sequel. Now, I have to train some troops, right? That's the next mission. Yeah, I think that is. So that is a good segue into the next thing I want to talk about. Unfortunately, the map is all rainy here, so you can't see the amazing graphics. It's really nice. I really like this map. I hope they kind of brought this zoom out mechanic and see the provinces in Rome Remastered, but it's a little clunkier in Rome Remastered. I really hope every future Total War keeps this sort of Three Kingdoms map zoom out, zoom in thing. It's really nice. I really like it. But then better than the way it was implemented in Rome Remastered. It feels like it was grafted on, but I mean, that's because it was, right? So I'll be able to recruit units next turn. Okay. So anyway, let's end the turn here. Now, that's a segue into the recruitment system. So, the recruitment system in Three Kingdoms is my least favorite recruitment system. So, a lot of people prefer the recruitment system in Medieval 2. They consider that one the best. I consider that one the best too, because it's definitely a really good. It allows a mod maker, right, a campaign designer, to really balance the unit recruitment that the AI does in a way that in the other Total Wars you can't really do, right? So I really hate the recruitment system in Three Kingdoms. It's my least favorite aspect. So recruitment, again, I guess this kind of has to do with the whole thing being centered around the characters, right? The famous characters. So Liu Bei has what was this guy? Guan Yu and Zhang Fei, right? So Zhang Fei and Guan Yu, right? So, and they're legendary champions, I know. I haven't even played with them, but they're already legends, right? That's fun in its own right, but it's just not what I prefer. I want to make my characters into legends, right? So, I clicked on recruit, and then it gave me a little plus sign next to each of these generals. Now, in Shogun 2 was the last one, the last Total War, where you would recruit the units from the city, right? From the fortress. Or the castles, as they were in Shogun 2. So, Rome 2 added the provincial recruitment, right? So you would recruit troops from the province, right? And how many you could recruit in one turn depended on how much of the province you had, how many recruitment aiding buildings you had in the province, right? I'm okay with that recruitment system, especially if at the beginning you start out with just a few recruitment slots and then you can build that up over time, right? As you build up your infrastructure. I actually prefer recruiting from provinces because it doesn't make sense to just recruit from a town center, right? And then have that unit slowly lumber over to your army that's in the field, right? It would make sense to recruit from like camps in the field and then do all that in the field, not in, I don't know, a city center, right? So Three Kingdoms. So I don't dislike the Rome 2 recruitment system. I feel like I like it a little better than how it was. But Three Kingdoms ties it to the general, right? So I clicked on recruit, and then you've got 3 legendary generals here, and you have recruitment for each of the generals. And look, when I click on Liu Bei recruitment, I get, these kinds of units. And Liu Bei is yellow, right? He has a yellow color. So I get 2 yellows, 1 red, 3 blues, 2 greens, 1 purple. Then if I click on Zhang Fei, I get fewer units. So 1 yellow, 2 red, 1 blue, 1 green, 1 purple. And then same for Guan Yu. I get a different assortment of units. Some are the same, but some are different, right? So I can recruit mounted saber militia with all of them. Liu Bei gives Jian sword guard cavalry as well. Zhang Fei can't recruit those other blue units, the Yi archers and the crossbowmen. Zhang Fei cannot recruit. He can only get archer militia. And I just don't. And then Guan Yu, you get a different assortment. You get the militia, but you also get spear guards and Yi archers with Guan Yu. And then Zhang Fei gives access to the raider cavalry that you don't get access to with the other generals. That's too convoluted. It's too convoluted for me. Like, I don't like it. Like, just tie the recruitment to the province again. I think if, and make an AOR system. Don't tie it to the general, right? So if I'm in southern China, I can get different units. If I'm in northern China, I can get different units. In Inner Mongolia, Outer Mongolia, I get different units. Manchuria, I get different units. Right? Closer to Central Asia, I get different units. Or Central Asia up here, yeah. So I hate it when the orientation is not north-south. Except for Shogun 2, I'm okay with that orientation there. But I really don't like the recruitment system. Now, my thoughts on, and again, like I said, diplomacy, graphics, animations, the character portraits, the art, everything. I really like all those aspects of Three Kingdoms, the AI. It's done really well, really immersive. The music is very nice too. I really like the music. Not as much as Shogun 2, but I like it. I like it quite a bit. Now, so basically, my conclusions here for Three Kingdoms 2, I want them to tie recruitment to the province, or at least make it less convoluted. Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Why they would do this? I don't like it. I know they want to make it like the legendary character and their retinue. I just don't like it. I think it's too convoluted. Now, I hope that for the next one they add more start dates and maybe they make the faction more important rather than just that character. Because I'm just more of a fan of the historical kind of sandboxy Total Wars, and make records mode the default one. Like if someone wants to play with romance mode and have the heroes and the duels and whatever, do it by all means. But don't make that the default mode for a historical Total War like Three Kingdoms. I know this is based on, the novel, the legendary histories, right? And there's a lot of games based on the Three Kingdoms period. Very interesting period. I really like it. I wish records mode was default and that more effort was put into it. That's my preference as a historical Total War preferring player, right? That's just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying no one else can have their own opinion. But that's just what I think, right? Now, oh, weather finally changed. Okay, that's nice. Now, do I agree with the decision? The weather turned dark again. Oh, come on. Maybe that's just romance mode for you. It heard me talk about it and it started crying. Now, I believe that making a sequel to Three Kingdoms right now, if that's indeed what's going to happen, I feel like that's a mistake. I don't like it. Now, I know that, Creative Assembly has done this before, right? So they made Napoleon a separate game, in a fully priced separate game, instead of like maybe a standalone expansion to Empire, which I think it should have been as well. They made Attila a standalone, fully priced game instead of an expansion for Rome 2. I think it would have been more successful as a expansion for Rome 2, like a standalone expansion, right? I think it would have been more successful that way. Let's go get this guy. Now, performance in Three Kingdoms is also something I like. The performance is very good. I'm very happy with that. So, I don't agree that they should have made Three Kingdoms 2, right? A sequel to Three Kingdoms right now, because, they had promised some more work on Three Kingdoms. And, Three Kingdoms has a huge fan base, right? I like Three Kingdoms too. So I'm a little sorry to see them just abandon this game and go for a sequel. I'll just delegate this. Now, Creative Assembly has done this before, like I said, with Napoleon, with Attila. In both cases, I feel like those games should have been perhaps standalone expansions, like Fall of the Samurai. I feel like Shogun 2 was the generation of Total War games when they did almost everything right. So Shogun 2 had an expansion, Rise of the Samurai. I love that expansion. It's a great expansion. Feels totally different. To me, it's totally different historical period. The map looks different. The buildings are different. The units are different. I really love that expansion, Rise of the Samurai. I don't know why a lot of people don't like it or give it negative press. I think maybe they haven't played it. I don't know. I really like Rise of the Samurai. That's my controversial opinion of the day. I also really like this tree. I really like it. I don't know. It reminds me of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't know. Let's do agricultural tax relief. That sounds like something Liu Bei would do. Now, can I move yet? No, I can't. I just took Lanya. Or Kaiyang. So, I feel like Napoleon should have been $40 standalone or $50 standalone expansion for Empire. And I feel like Empire should have received at least the bug fixes that Napoleon received, right? The improved AI, the improved battles, less bugginess, the improved well, I think those are the main improvements from Napoleon that I think Empire should have received, right? Especially the bug fixes, because, Empire still not fixed to this day. So, what else? I feel like now there's two aspects to this here, right? So Three Kingdoms, I don't feel like it lacks for content, right? So it's got a good amount of content. You've got different start dates. You've got enough factions and legendary characters. I'm not complaining about the amount of content in Three Kingdoms. I think it's a great game. I think it's a complete game. Now, there's an advantage in terms of making a sequel to Three Kingdoms, right? So I talked a lot in this video about the missteps that I believe Three Kingdoms makes, right? Especially in terms of character development, in terms of the recruitment system, right? Those are the two aspects that really bother me about Three Kingdoms, right? So without, if they amend those issues, especially the recruitment and making records mode default, which I'm very adamant about. Okay. I was able to annex it. I like that too. I really like a lot of the aspects of Three Kingdoms, a lot of the additions, especially diplomatic, things like annexing. I think it's really cool. I really like it. Now, if they fix the recruitment system, I'm going to say fix because I hate it. I don't know anyone who likes this recruitment system. I find it convoluted and unnecessary. If they make records mode default, and if they add more start dates, if they make some older start dates, what about a Qin unification of China? What about something from the Tang period, the Song period, right? They're so much Chinese history there. The Northern Jin dynasty fighting the Mongol invasions. There are so many directions they can go with China that I feel like if they have the historical focus, if they focus not so much on the legendary characters, but on the factions, the city-states, the other ethnicities, the AOR, I feel like you could have a really great, fully fleshed out historical China Total War. And I really hope that a sequel to Three Kingdoms will do that. So that's why I feel okay about them moving on to a sequel, because I feel like, I get it, the legendary characters, a lot of people like it, but I want a full historical Total War without the legendary aspects, right? And I think it's a strong game in records mode, right? If they just put a little more effort into that, if they made records default, if they make some of the changes that I'm putting forward in this video, I think there's a lot of potential here for an amazing historical Total War. Fully historical, not semi-historical, not legendary, not semi-legendary, just a full historical Total War. I feel like there's a lot of potential here with Chinese history to do that. Like I said, Qin unification, Zhou dynasty collapse, like I said, Tang dynasty, rise of the Tang dynasty, or this rise of the Sui dynasty, Sui unification, the Southern Song and Northern Jin and Jia Tangut empires versus the Mongol invasions, the Tibetan Empire. There's a lot of history here that can be tapped into. And I really hope they do that in a successor to Three Kingdoms. So I know this video got a little bit rambly, but I think I talked about everything I wanted to talk about here. I hope this was a good introduction to Three Kingdoms here, the aspects I like, the aspects I don't like. And yeah, I definitely prefer records mode, that's for sure. But yeah, Three Kingdoms, I enjoy it. I like it. I think it looks good. It's immersive. The AI is great. The diplomacy additions, like annexing, things like that, I really enjoy. The economy, I think, is cool. The recruitment system, I hate. The fact that every faction is based around a legendary character rather than like a particular kingdom, right? Like Kingdom of I'm struggling to remember, Wei, right? I feel like if CA goes a more historical route for Three Kingdoms 2, that it has a lot of potential here. So that's pretty much everything I have to say about Three Kingdoms 2. I've been really busy the past month. I know I haven't been streaming. I haven't the videos have been trickling out at a slow pace, but I hope you enjoy this one. And yeah, I'll see you all. If you enjoy the historical Total Wars and their mods, consider liking, subscribing. Again, this is historical Total War Central. I love the historical Total Wars. I love talking about them. I love covering them. Rome Remastered, covering Rome Remastered has been very fun. I'm a little bit disappointed with the mod support initially, because not only is there not as much support as was promised at the beginning, they're going to patch those things in, like lifting the faction limit and things like that to 31. But there are also some bugs, and I think I'll release a video talking about that soon. My disappointments, that will all get rectified. I have full confidence. But it's just a little disappointing. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been really busy, but hopefully over the next week, I'll be able to get some more free time. I'll restart the streams. I'll start covering some more mods again. I know a lot of people have been requesting Imperial Splendor for Empire Total War Rise of the Republic. So I've actually downloaded that. I'll be looking into that. That's one of the Empire mods I've never had a chance to play, actually. So I'll be looking into that. Some mods for Napoleon, some mods for more mods for Rome Remastered, some deeper coverage of Europa Barbarorum, Divide et Impera for Rome 2. I've been playing some Medieval Kingdoms because I know a lot of people have wanted me to talk about Medieval Kingdoms, even though I do have some issues with it. Yeah. So again, in about a week, I'll have more free time. I'll start streaming. I'll start making more videos. I hope you enjoyed this video about Three Kingdoms. I'll see you guys in the next one.